ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतान् शृण्वन्नोतिभिस्सीदसादनम् ॐ श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। सरस्वत्यै नमो नित्यं भद्रकाल्यै नमो नमः। वेदवेदान्तवेदाङ्ग इत्यास्थानेभ्यः सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतो वन्दे भगवन्तो पुनः पुनः। व्यासं वसिष्ठनप्तारं शक्तेः पौत्रमकल्मषं पराशरात्मजं वन्दे सुगतातं तपोनिधिं। व्यासाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः। आचतुर्वदनो ब्रह्मा देवाहुरपरो हरिः अभाललोचनः शम्भुः भगवान् बादरायणः। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। We'll read 107. आनुमानिकम् अपि एकेषामिति चेत् न शरीररूपकविन्यस्त गृहीतेः दर्शयति च सूक्ष्मं तु तदर्हत्वात् तदधीनत्वात् अर्थवत् ज्ञेयत्वावचनाच्च वदतीति चेत् न प्राज्ञो हि वदतीति चेन्न प्राज्ञो हि प्रकरणात्। 383. अत्राह सांख्यः ज्ञेयत्वावचनात् इत्यसिद्धम् कथं श्रूयते हि उत्तरत्र अव्यक्तशब्दोदितस्य प्रधानस्य ज्ञेयत्ववचनम् अशब्दम् अस्पर्शम् अरूपमव्ययम् तथा रसं नित्यमगन्धवच्च यत् अनाद्यन्तं महतः परं ध्रुवम् नित्यायतं मृत्युमुखात् प्रमुच्यते इति अत्र हि यादृशं शब्दविहीनं प्रधानं महतः परः स्मृतो निरूपितं तादृशम् एव निचायत्वेन निर्दिष्टं तस्मात् प्रधानम् एव इदम् तदेव च अव्यक्तशब्दनिर्दिष्टम् इति अत्र ब्रूमः नेह प्रधानं निचायत्वेन निर्दिष्टं प्राज्ञो हि इह परमात्मा निचायत्वेन निर्दिष्ट इति गम्यते। कुतः प्रकरणात् प्राज्ञस्य हि प्रकरणं विततम् प्राज्ञस्य हि प्रकरणं विततं वर्तते कृशान्न परं किंचित् सा काष्ठा सा परागतिः इत्यादि निर्देशा एष सर्वेषु भूतेषु गूढात्मा न प्रकाशते इति च दुर्ज्ञानत्व वचनेन तस्यैव ज्ञेयत्वाकांक्षणात् यच्छेद्वाङ्मनसि प्राज्ञः इति च तज्ज्ञानाय एव वागादिसंयमस्य विहितत्वात् मृत्युमुखप्रमोक्षण फलत्वाच्च न हि प्रधानमात्रं निचाय्य मृत्युमुखात् प्रमुच्यते इति सांख्यैः इष्यते चेतनात्मविज्ञानाधि मृत्युमुखात् प्रमुच्यते इति तेषाम् अभ्युपगमः सर्वेषु वेदान्तेषु प्राज्ञस्यैवात्मनः अशब्दादिधर्मत्वम् अभिलप्यते तस्मान्न प्रधानस्य अत्र ज्ञेयत्वम् अव्यक्तशब्दनिर्दिष्टत्वम् while we were seeing this portion called Anumanik Adhikaranam. This is in the first chapter, 4th Pada, and in this first Adhikaran there are 8 sutras. And we had seen the first 4 sutras. The subject matter of this is the Prakriti or the Avyakt, which is mentioned in the Kathopanishad 1.3.11. Pradhan, this is same as Pradhan as claimed by Sankhya. Sankhya claims that this Avyakt is the Pradhan which I claim it. Means what? That Pradhan or Prakriti which is independent than the Purush and it holds its own reality. This is the Pradhanam that I am claiming it. And this is what is mentioned in Kathopanishad, and therefore Vedas also support me. To this point, in the first 2 sutras, Ved Vyas Bhagavan said that their Avyakt has the meaning of body, gross body. Then in the 3rd sutra, he said Tad Adhinatvat. This Pradhan, this Prakriti is dependent on the Purush only. Tad Adhinatvat means this Prakriti is dependent on the Purush. This was said in 1.4.1.3. And Arthavat, it is Tad Adhinatva means it is dependent on the Brahman. And dependent means what? Dependent means that it does not have substantial existence, it has experiential existence. So this does not have a substance, it has an experiential existence. That means Maya is not a countable aspect. It doesn't have countability. Gadaniyatvam. It doesn't have countability. Like 1 plus 0 doesn't have countability. It doesn't have any status different than that. And you heard that day that because it is the Shakti of Brahman. And any Shakti is dependent on the Shaktiman. We had already seen it. And then next sutra, if you remember, I said yesterday, Geyatva Vachanacha. Geyatva means what? Knowability status is not there. Because an avachanat, because of the non-mention of the knowability status. Non-mention means what? Nowhere it is said that you have to know the Avyakt for moksha. Actually speaking, Avyakt and Purusha are equally important, this said by Sankhya. And you should know the both. But Vedanta says that only by knowing the Brahman or the Purush, he will know the self. Now you already discussed, I discussed it, that even last class I had said that Avyakt or the Prakriti cannot be known also. Cannot be, you cannot come to a conclusion that this is that. Because anything which is the result of ignorance there is no point of conclusion. You can't ascertain the cause of that. Now next sutra, it is vadati iti chenna pragyo hi prakaranat. This is 1.4.1.5. 1.4.1.5. First chapter, fourth quarter, first adhikaran and fifth sutta. So what is it? In the previous sutra, now I'm moving on, this I have not taken. In the previous sutra, this is page 383. In the previous sutra, what was the topic established? Avyaktasya geyatvam nasti. The unavyakt cannot be known. And it should not be known. Both point is there. It cannot be known and it should not be known. There is no point in knowing it. So in 2007, Guruji had come here. So he gave the topic, we can, we must. I don't know you all, somebody attended or not. You attended it? We can, we must. Here we were sitting. So Vimal was there. Vimal said that, that we have Hanumanji's Murti, Vishnu Tapa. Similarly, we can have here also. So Guruji said, we can, but we must not. So, I'm not going to detail what happened after that. Topic is Brahma Sutra going on. So in the previous sutra, it was said that avyakt is not to be known or it is not known. Avyaktasya geyatvam nasti. Now Sankhya says that Vedas do talk about avyakt as something to be known. And it also presents as knowledge which will liberate. How do you say like that? He's quoting, see in your book, Ashabdam, second line. He's quoting, actually it is 2.3.15, it is 1.3.15. First chapter, third valli. If you correct it, instead of 2, it should be 1. So, this mantra, you underline it. Ashabdam, asparsham, arupam, avyayam, tatha rasam, nityam agandhavaccha yat, anadyanantam mahtaf param dhruvam nichayaktam mrityamukhat paramuchyate. This Sankhya says, he takes this mantra. He says that this mantra is talking about avyakt prakriti. Because every description in this mantra is indicating the avyakt only. Like ashabdam, that prakriti cannot be put in words, it is like this. That means it is not perceived by the sense organs. Ashabdam, asparsham, you cannot touch that. You can see something outside, but you cannot see the samskar by your eyes. Your vasanas, your avyakt, you cannot see by your eyes. Even if doctor operates, he can't see your samskar. It is all hidden. And you only know how much samskars are there. It is such a big bank is there. But nobody can see it. Only when it expresses, you know it. But it does not have any word. Ashabdam, asparsham, you can't touch it. Person can touch your gross body, but he can't touch even your subtle body. Asparsham, na rupam, there is no form to that avyakta. Avyayam, it doesn't decay, because every time avyakt comes and it is remaining. Even in Jnani also there is a avyakt. So ashabdam, asparsham, arupam, avyayam. Then tatharasam, tatha arasam, it doesn't have a taste. Unmanifest doesn't have a taste. You can't say his impressions are tasty. You can't say like that. So it is called tatha arasam. Then nityam, it is nitya also. It does not go away. Agandham, agandhavacha, it has no smell. It is not known by any of these sense organs. Therefore, how can it have any smell? Anadi, anadi already proved yesterday that because it is the nature of ignorance, it is anadi. Anantam, it is infinite because it doesn't die. Most crucial is this Mahata Param. He said, there it was in 1.3.7, etc. You said, in the, what is that mantra? What is that mantra? 1.3.7 and 8. Indriyabhya prayartharthebhyascha param mana manasastu para buddhi buddhe param buddhe param mahata mahata param avyaktam. So he is quoting that beyond the mahata param, see here and there, avyakt is mentioned here. That mantra you should by heart it. Indriyabhya prayartha arthebhyascha param manaha manasastu para buddhi buddhe param buddhe mahata param avyaktam. It is here buddhe atma mahan paraha buddhe atma mahan para mahata param avyaktam avyaktat purusha para sakashtata paranat. So buddhehe param buddhehe atma mahan farah. Now, is it clear now? So in 3.11 you go mahata param avyaktam is there, and here also mahata param is there. So it is as if avyaktam is hidden here. And dhruvam nichaya. Nichaya means knowing that person crosses death. Death means rebirth. There is no rebirth. You are not reborn. So one crosses the death. So here Purupaksh is Sankhya. He is taking this particular mantra. Here see the sutra vadati. Vadati means here Veda talks. Shrutihi vadati. Veda talks about avyaktam to be known. Shrutihi vadati. Avyaktasya geyatvam vadati. You are saying avyak should not be known or cannot be known. But here see, so here this is Purupaksh portion. So this portion has vadati iti chet, till this is Purupaksh. And after that na, from na to prakaranat is the Uttar Paksha or Siddhanti is there. So Vedas talk about the avyakt. He says no, avyakt can be known. And I am quoting this 1.3.15. I also have studied all the Upanishads. So therefore I also know everything. You don't say that I don't know. I can know. And if you have your own shlokas, I also have my own shlokas. So I also have to say a lot. So Bhashyakar, is it clear now? This is the Purupaksh person. From vadati iti chet, na, double na is there. So one is na, there is ta, there is na. So cheta plus na is equal to chena. Ta plus na is equal to double na. Therefore double na is there. Vadati iti chena. Now understand this. Bhashyakar, and Ved Vyas Bhagwan says, I think you are not right. What I say is not right. No, you are not right here. Why? Because 1.3.15, what you have quoted so conveniently, it does not talk about Avyakta, it talks about Purush only. Now open your Mantra Pushpam book 1.3.11 of Kathopanishad. 1.3.11. I have not brought it. Don't leave it, but I'll tell you. Let me see if I can remember those mantras. Let me see. So 1.3.11 is Indriyebhya prayarthaha arthebhyascha param manaha manasastu para buddhi. फिर बुद्धेरात्मा महान परः महता परम अव्यक्तम अव्यक्तात् पुरुष परः पुरुषान्न परा किंचित सा काष्ठा सा परागति. ये ना 1.3.11 is this sutra. Wonderful. Right? Fantastic. Now, therefore earlier days, they were all first by hearting the whole Upanishad. Then studies started. And good point was that books were not there. I mean, I'm talking about 5,000 years back. 1,000 years, not 5,000. Even 700 AD, time of Bhagwan Shankaracharya. 800 AD. Books were not a popular means of knowledge. Imagine what kind of studies they would be having. So teacher had everything in his mind, and he used to transfer it to the student in the form of speaking and by hearting. Oh, wonder how is it possible? But possibility was there. Paper came much later on. The leaves were there, earlier leaves. There was no paper. There was no printed material. There is nothing called printing at that time. Forget about printing. And you will be so mind-boggling. And so much of literature is there. How can all that be in their mind? It's really staggering. And therefore it is called Shruti. So they used to teach around 5 years, 7 years, every day by hearting class, every day. And therefore Sanskrit language doesn't have punctuations, comma, exclamation, question mark. All these belongs to English only. Only you see one line or double line. Purnaviram. Shlok is half, it is one line. Shlok is full, it is full. And if the text was complete, how do you know text was complete? They used to say twice. Twice means text is over now. You are going to start another chapter. And therefore sutras came, aphorisms, because they wanted to say in short something. So by hearting was very important. So difficult it was. But that alone made our tradition very rich. Now this is the 13th mantra, 1.3.11, right? Now this 12th mantra, 1.3.12. Esha sarveshu bhuteshu gudho atma na prakashate. यही है ना? दृश्यते त्वग्रया बुद्ध्या सूक्ष्मया सूक्ष्मदर्शिपि. This is 1.3.12. Fantastic. This is also about, one word is coming Atma there. This also talks about Atma. 1.3.11, I hope I need not, when I say 1.3.11, immediately your mind should say what mantra is. No, leave it. If I am not able, then you can help me. Then 1.3.12. There also Atma word is there. Eshu Sarveshu Bhuteshu Gudho Atma. So that is also talking about Atma. Fine. Now coming to 1.3.13. Yached Vang Manasi Pragya Tadyached Jnanatmani Jnanatmani Mahati Nirchet Tadyached Chantatmani. This is the mantra, I think. And this is also saying that everything should be resolved in the Atma. Yached Vang Manasi Pragya. The sense organ should be resolved back into the mind. Yached Vang Manasi Pragya Tadyached Jnanatmani. That mind should be resolved into the intellect. Jnanatmani Mahate Niyached. The intellect should be resolved into the Mahat, Hiranyagarbha. And Tadyached Chantatmani. You have to resolve into the pure consciousness or the Brahman. Right? So here also the talking is about the Atma only. Chantatma is the word here. This is 1.3.30. Right? Very good. Now 1.3.14 is there. Uttishta Jagrat Prap, very popular of Swami Vivekananda. Uttishta Prap, Jagrat Prap Varan Nibodata. Arise, awake. Uttishta, arise, awake. And Swamiji said, and stop not till the goal is here. But this was not here. And this was from his side. Uttishta Jagrat Prapya Varan Nibudata. He said, go to the great people and know this. Shurasya Dhara Nishita Duratya Durgam Patastat Kavayo Badante. Walking on those paths is like walking on the razor's edge. Because it's difficult to give up ahankar, kam, krodh, irsha, dvesh, attachment, etc. Shuras dhara nishta duratya durgam pada. As if the sword is kept and sword is there. Very sharp swords are there. Sharp. Very sharp. And you have to walk on the sword only. Nishita, one well sharpened sword. Not that blunt sword is there. Very well sharpened. Very well sharpened, and you are walking on that. Every now and then you will cut. So on this path, first thing that you have no support here. And you should not take any support. Don't take emotional support from the world. Jan kripa naishtoryam utsrajata. No need for support. If you take support, take from the God only. Okay, don't take emotional, financial, intellectual, family support. Take from the God. Shurasya dhara nishita durgam patas. And on the top of it, the mind is terrible because it has been brought from many births. And to counter it is difficult. Kshurasya dhara nishita duratya durgam patastat kavyo badal. This is 1.3.40. Right? Now comes 1.3.15 about which you are talking. All of a sudden from the blue you are saying this talks about Avyakt. Therefore I showed from 1.3 from 11, 12, 13, 14, all talk about Atma. How come all of a sudden Upanishad will talk about Avyakt? Please tell me. It will be non-contextual. And the topic is going on. All of a sudden, without any reason, rhyme and reason, you are bringing another topic. They don't talk like us. We talk erratically. Our thinking, talking is quite haphazard, erratic. Therefore, it is not like that. What you said that this mantra, Shabdama, Sparsham, etc. is not about the Avyakt. It is about the Atma. Simple sutra. I hope so. Now he raised the question. He said, 1 minute before you go ahead. Urupaksh. He said, if this mantra 1.3.15, now I can just quote it, I need not quote the whole mantra. If 1.35, immediately I say it should come. 1.3.11, mantra ki. Your inside computer should be there. This is called photographic memory. You know photographic memory. There is one person in India. You know what he does? He knows any paper he reads, it clicks on his mind. Understood? He took a dictionary. Anything he reads, supposing he reads, so like you take a photograph, so in his mind it takes a photograph. So they tested him. They said, okay, tell me what is in the big dictionary. What is in page number 370? And he tells. I wonder what powers are in human mind. It is really very difficult. I can't understand. It clicks to him. अब है कुछ ऐसा. And what to say of Shakuntala Devi? Shakuntala Devi, I already told about her. She is no more. Shakuntala Devi was a great mathematician. And any number you ask to divide, and any problem of mathematics, Harvard, MIT, she went all these universities. And they are asking like that, 14,025,042 multiplied by 16,367. Thus. And she will give the answer with 20 seconds, faster than computer. You can read about her. So now one film is coming on her. Vidya Balan is playing the film. I think it is already released, I don't know. Then you understand, I think some Bhagwan's Kripa is there. Some Bhagwan is sitting. Some Devi is there in her. So a lot of things are in this world. Okay, let me come back now. He's saying that if you are talking about Avyakt, how did it is written Mahata Param? Because Mahata Param has come in, actually this expression is borrowed from 1.3.11. There it was said Mahata Param Avyaktam. The answer is, don't catch the Mahata Param word. If Purush is superior to Avyakt, then it will always be superior to Mahat as well. There is no need that that has to come together. Now, one or two more arguments are there. What is our argument? Bhaskar also touches upon it. In all the Vedic mantras we find what? Atma Jnanat Moksha. Moksha is the knowledge of the Atma. Nowhere it is said moksha is with the knowledge of the Prakriti. Because ignorance is in the Atma only, and therefore the knowledge also will be in the Atma. Atma Jnanad Moksha. And Prakriti Jnanad Moksha Nasti. I get me. Knowledge is about this. Atma knowing as Brahman is moksha. But nowhere it is said that you have to know the Prakriti. Why the knowledge of the Prakriti will be given? Because when the knowledge doesn't give you moksha, then why the Upanishad will give you the knowledge of the Prakriti? Upanishad is targeting to give you moksha. Why that thing should be mentioned, knowledge of which does not give you moksha? It is purposeless then. Purush Gyan is means of moksha and not the Prakriti Gyan, and therefore 1.3.15 must be talking about the Purush or the Atma and not about the Prakriti. This is one reason. And second point is, supposing You say by the knowledge of the Prakriti there is a moksha. Supposing. Then Nichaya tam mrityumukhat pramuchyate. Knowing that Prakriti, Nichaya means knowing that Prakriti, one would get moksha. If that is mentioned, this is not right, because Sankhya does not say that by knowledge of the Prakriti you have moksha. What is the moksha of Sankhya? So Purusha and Prakriti both should be known, and the discrimination also should be there. So separately only knowledge of the Prakriti does not give moksha. Even the Sankhya says like that. I hope this is clear. And therefore, this 1.3.15 is not talking about Avyakt. It is talking about Purusha alone. Okay, fine. Wonderful. And this is mentioned in the Bhashya also. See here, last but 3 lines, page 383. Nahi pradhan matram nichaya mrityumukhat pramuchyate iti sankhyehi ishyate. Got it? No, not got it. Nahi pradhan matram nichaya mrityumukhat pramuchyate iti sankhyehi ishyate. Underline that, please. Then what is written? Chetana Atma Vijnanadhi. By the knowledge of the self. By where is the problem? There only will have moksha. The problem is in the not knowing the I. We know our I as a Jeev I which suffers, which enjoys, which goes to new birth, which is sad, which is relative, which is identifying with the body because of ignorance. So knowledge of the right I alone will be the moksha. No? So Chetana Atma Vijnanadhi Mrityu Mukhat Pramuchyati Tishtesham Abhyupagamaha. This has been known. Then underline this line. Sarveshu Vedanteshu Pragyas ev Atmanah Ashab. Pragyas means here not just Pragya of that Vishwa Pragya, not that Pragya. Pragya means Atma here. Sarveshu Vedanteshu. Vedanteshu means Upanishatsu. Sarveshu Vedanteshu. Upanishad is feminine. Sarveshu Vedanteshu Pragyasya eva Atmanah. Pragya, which is Atma, Ashabdadi Dharmatvam Abhilapyate. Abhilapyate means is said. So Ashabdam, Asparasham, Arupam, all these words which are in 1.3.15, they are the mention for the Atma alone. Okay, Tasmat Na Pradhanasya Atra Gyatvam Avyakta Shabda Nirdishtatvam Va. Hare bhai, I understand, I accept it, don't worry about it. I accept whatever you say. When our capacity is very less, we just give up. Our capacities are very limited. Now I am coming to the word analysis. Please see what words are there. So first word is Vadati. Lat lakar is there. Vadati. Pratham Purush Ekvachan. So what will be the subject here? Bolo? Shruti or Upanishad. Say in Sanskrit. You are right, but put in Sanskrit. Shruti vadati or Upanishad vadati. This is said by whom? Sankhya. Sankhya. Or Veda vadati. And in bracket what you will write? Avyaktam as said in 1.3.15. वेदः वदति, श्रुतिः वदति, उपनिषद वदति. In Sanskrit, the gender of the noun is not indicated by the verb. And in English also, he is going, she is going. Going will not change. But in Sanskrit also it doesn't change. Sah gacchati, sa gacchati. But in Hindi it changes. And therefore they make a lot of mistake. वो जा रहा है या वो जा रही है. Understood? And this is there people who make a lot of mistake. बोले स्वामी जी खा रही है. You know, Asha is there, Asha. So Chennai Asha. So she is Tamil. She came here. Asha stayed here also 1 month, 2 months. So she tries to speak Hindi. And she speaks Hindi like this. That Swamiji kha rahi hai. I tease her and then she says, no, my Hindi is very good. So, Shrutihi vadati. So, iti chet, if I say like that, still iti chet is the Purupash. From na comes the answer. Na. It is not so. You have to mark it from where Purupash is there. The next word is Pragya hi prakaranat. So Pragya means Purush here. Purush, he means indeed. Purush is indeed. And in bracket you write, is spoken of in KU. Kathopanishad 1.3.15. Sorry. 1.3.15. Pragya hi in bracket spoken of in Kathopanishad 1.3.15. In Sanskrit, Pragya hi atra uchyate. Atra uchyate should be in bracket. How do you say like that? Prakaranat. Because that is the continuing topic going on. I showed you also. As per the continuation of the topic. So now I'll go to each word once more. Please see again the word. So vadati. So before vadati you can write avyaktasya avedatvam. Shrutihi avyaktasya avedatvam vadati. Iti chet na. Then pragya. Pragya is in the meaning, I'm repeating it, it's not Vishupta, just pragya. Here pragya means nirguna brahmanli. Pragya is equal to Atma, Shuddha Chaitanyam. He is for emphasis, assertion and prakaranat, because this is a topic being discussed in earlier and the latter portion. If something is discussed before and after, in between also that topic is there. Context is of Atma Gyan and context is not of Prakriti. Context is not like that. That's it. Now let's have a few minutes. Then I'll just read the next one. Sutra. Sutra, this is 1.4.1.6. Trayanam eva chaivam upanyasah prashnascha. Trayanam eva chaivam upanyasah prashnascha. So here, this is just the continuation of the last sutra. It means 1.4.1.5. There's a continuation of that. Now the elaboration of the previous sutra and and the topic called Prakaranat is discussed. How did you say that this is the topic? This. See how much they go. Purpaksh is saying, how did you say that this topic alone is there in Kathopanishad? I want to know this. Then only I will accept. Not that I won't accept. I will accept it after you explain to that. So, please explain to me. How did you say like that? And then I'll take you to the Kathopanishad. If you remember Kathopanishad, Nachiketa was there. And his father was there. Father was giving the cows as a charity. Ushan havai vajashvasaha sarvavida samdadau tasya Nachiketa nama putra asa. Remember that? And that Nachiketa, he saw that my father is giving. Completed. Pitodaka jagdatranaha nirindriyaha. Pitodaka, they had no strength to even drink the water also. So weak cows were there. Jagdatranaha, they can't eat even grass also. Nirindriyaha, they can't produce calf also. Pitodaka jagdatranaha nirindriyaha. Then Nachiketa said, if somebody gives this, anandanam te lokaha kansagachati tadata. This person who gives charity is such, he will not go to next birth, will not be good. Okay. Pitodaka jagdatranaha dugdha doha nirindriyaha. Last time you can milk the cow. And then he said, to whom you are giving to me, to whom you are giving. He said, I am giving to death. Then he went to Yamraj and he was waiting for 3 nights without entering the house. I'm not going in detail. So 3 boons Nachiketa was asked to. I think in SUP course also I had taken. SUP course also. And in Vedant Manthan also they are giving the Kathopanishad, what was recorded. So there were 3 boons. I'm summarizing it. First boon was father's peace of mind he wanted. Second boon, he wanted the ritual to go to the Swarga or the heaven. And third boon was about the knowledge of the self. In short, okay, that my father should be quiet. So this is in 1.1.10 and 1.1.11 question and answer question. Shant manasa sumana yathasa. He should not be worried, he should not be angry. And when I go back, he should recognize me. That means you will send me back. Otherwise, people say going to the death, nobody can come back. That was a hidden. That means the Nachiketa is very smart. You have to understand. Shanta manasa sumanaya thasat. When I go back, he should not be fearful that Bhoot has come. But if you are dying, then die properly. Okay. You didn't live properly and now you are not dying properly. When already dead body is there, why you came back? One of my relatives, when I was in house, he said, at that time phone was not there. Phone was only the house phone through which you had dial call. So one very old relative was there. They say he passed. So my mamas and all these people, they straight away went to cremation ground. They said, we'll meet him there only. But they didn't come. The body which had to come, that didn't come. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. They said, let me go to the house. What happened? Why the body is not come? And when they reached there, that person, he got up. He said, why have come? I mean, he was pronounced dead because the breath was not there. But somehow breath came back. He said, where from you are coming? What answer to give? We were small children, we had a good laugh. And there was an old person, 80s and 90s, so it was expected that he will. But it happens many times. I have known about half an hour also after doctor has declared that again life came back. A little scary. Funny things that happen. All these mamas, they were stunned. They thought we got the wrong news. They said, who gave you the news? They called Oliver, what is the situation? They called their sons. They said, this news were there. Who gave this? Is it right? Or we heard something wrong? They said, no, it was right. He got up. So when you know that he has gone, Nachiketa has gone to death, so you should not come back. So first our father should be upset. See, I scolded him and he went away. When you are from your house, sometimes they must be getting irritated that I'm suffering and my son and daughter are going to the ashram, enjoying the life there. Especially if your mother, father are not well, then they feel a lot. So first boon was let him be happy. Second boon was that about what is the ritual in the Swarg. And third boon was Art. There are two interpretations of 3 boons. Which are the 3 boons? Although there are 2 interpretations. So this is simpler interpretation. But another interpretation which is more complex and more popular, that we will see tomorrow. It is already 8:30. Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari